say that our meeting with Blinken took place in a constructive environment. We talked about all the issues, frankly. It's no secret that we disagree on some issues. In our telephone conversation, we agreed to deal with all the different issues we thought of in a sincere manner. We also know that both the S-400 missile system and the US support for terror groups such as the PKK, the PYD, and the presence of FETO in America are elements that negatively affect our relations. We have once again conveyed our expectations on these issues.
Security analyst Murat Aslan. Murat, always a pleasure to have you on. We have spoken about the issues that exist between Washington and Ankara for a long, long time. Does it appear to you that after this meeting, from the public statements at least, we're still exactly where we've been maybe, 12 months ago?
Well, at least they have talked. That's a brilliant starting point. On the other hand, it's not a guarantee to solve all the problems because we have many problems. And in the meantime, the problems that is depicted in the minds is usually relied on S-400, especially from the US side. I think there is a complexity of problems between the US and Turkey, and it really needs a comprehensive negotiation, just taking all problems, but try to identify exactly what the core problem is. And that's missing up until now. And I think we should expect both to discuss exactly what they want in essence.
It is quite possible that the one thing that the Biden administration might do differently that Turkey wants done is to stop supporting the PKK, YPG terror groups. Because the Trump administration was working very closely with the YPG in Syria, and obviously that's a huge issue. I mean, the PKK has killed 40,000 people or so in 40 years in Turkey. Clearly, Turkey wants to see that relationship end. But on the other side, there seems to be some intransigence. You've already talked about it, the S-400 missile system. Is there any chance that Turkey might just keep the S-400s, pay the Russians for the missiles, the contracts are signed, but not make them operational? That might satisfy the Americans.
Okay, let's assume that Turkey wrapped up S-400s and take them to the Mediterranean Sea and just dropped it. Do you think that all problems are resolved in the eyes of either the United States or Europeans or NATO as a whole? I don't think so, because the problems are more than that. The first issue, as you have mentioned, is the perception of Turkish community towards the United States and Europe. Think that we have experienced a coup d'etat in 2015, and there's a perception in here that the US supported it. In the meantime, PKK is a problem, and they tried to change the name in Syria. And okay, if it's an alliance based on collective security of the members, then why the US supports PKK, PYD, or any organization with a different name? Because it's a direct threat to Turkey. And as you may know, there are continuous attacks either at the north of Syria towards people under protection in this region and also Turkish towns. So I think that's a contradiction of the US policy.
Absolutely, something that will presumably have to be sorted out as the two sides continue their talks. Murat, stay with us. I want to get your steer on another story that's quite current in regards to Turkish diplomacy. This is from the Turkish Foreign Ministry, which has criticized French President Emmanuel Macron for remarks that he made in a TV interview. Ankara says Macron's comments about a range of subjects involving Turkey are unacceptable. It's issued a written statement saying the remarks were unfortunate at a time of warming relations between the countries. Ankara has added that Turkey's foreign policies are legitimate and legal. It was on Wednesday this interview was broadcast in France. Macron in it claiming Turkey has been attempting to interfere in his country's presidential election next year. Obviously, he wants to be re-elected. Murat, it's quite clearly an issue that Macron is addressing his domestic audience. But why would he pick on Turkey when, exactly as the ministry says, actually things were supposed to be getting better between Ankara and Paris?
I think that's the question. You know, once you start negotiating or start talking, at least to have an understanding of the other side, I think you should stop saying something harsh. And because if you define the other as extremist, radical, Islamophobic or Islamist, that means you are creating a type of enemy for you. And I think that's a kind of heritage of the French thinking. Just remember what Renan, told to the pupils in 1800s, and it created Orientalism. And currently, we have Islamophobia in the Western thinking, mainly in France. So when they try to judge Turkey or any other country, they first handle the identity of the religion that they possess. And I think it's not fair. That means they should forget it. They should focus on their own way rather than the identities of the others. That's the issue.
Murat, thank you so much indeed. As I said, always appreciate your analysis. Security analyst Murat Aslan.